In this video, let's talk about the power of intuition. Intuition is knowing beyond logic. See, the way that the logical mind works is it works linear. Past, present, future. It also works linear in the sense of it tries to create a sequence, A, B, C, D. So in order to get to a solution here, which might be, let's say, D, it has to linear. It needs to get to that solution in a linear sequence. With intuition, it's instantaneous. It can get to that solution, or it can get to the decision instantaneous without any sort of logical process, logical linear process. So that's where it's, like I said, it's intuition is beyond, it's knowing beyond logic. Most people have to know things logically in a linear progression. But intuition, you can arrive at, let's say, D without going through A, B, C. So it's instantly, it's way faster. Right? It's an instant knowing. How do I know that? Just it's an inner knowing. Inner knowing, intuition, tuition, knowledge, knowing, right? It's an inner intuition, like when you got to pay tuition, you're paying tuition to learn, learning, knowledge, knowing. It's an inner knowing. So how do you know that? I don't know. It's just I'm intuiting it. Right? It's an inner knowing. I just know it. But where did it come from? I don't know. It's just there. Right? But how do you develop that intuition? So once you start seeing that it's a power, and how do you start developing it? Well, you find that the more present you are, the more you're going to develop that inner knowing. You have to be present to be connected, to be receptive to that inner knowing. And that's something that we've all had. We all have it. And we all have experienced that intuition when we were younger. But look at it, when you were younger, you're more present. When kids are younger, when we were younger as kids, we were way more present. But now, as adults, most of us, we're stuck in our minds. We're stuck in our heads. We're lost in the future. We're stuck in the past. It's when we're lost in the future and stuck in the past that we're disconnected with our intuition. Because that intuition, that inner knowing, that's going to come out of the present moment. You have a direct access to that intuition the more present you are. That's why I talk a lot about being present. Here's another reason. Being present, you don't have the chatter of the mind projecting into the future. Do this, gotta get this. After that, then do that. Later. That's all the future. The past. Oh, I wish it went this way. Oh, what if it happened like this? Oh, I wish I could change it. Oh, but I can't change it. Oh, so I'm going to be sad because I can't change it. Oh, sadness, depression. Oh, I can't believe it went that way. It went that way. It already happened. I can't change the past. What's the point of thinking about the past if I can't change the past? It's only going to make me sad or angry, right? And when I'm caught up in all that stuff, that's pretty loud. And intuition, it comes out of silence. It is that silence. Your intuition speaks to you in silence. So if I'm so focused on the noisy mind, chatting away about the future, chatting away about the past, then I can't hear that silence. If I can't hear that silence, if I'm disconnected from that silence, I'm also disconnected from that intuition. If I'm disconnected from that silence that's within me, if I'm disconnected to the present moment, then I can't receive, right? You need a connection to receive the information that the inner knowing gives to you. So you see how powerful it is. And then I'm telling you how we can develop it. If you become more silent, naturally, you'll be more intuitive. If you become more present, naturally, you'll become more intuitive. And if you become more present, naturally, you become more silent as well. If you become more silent, you'll also become more still. If you become more present, you'll become all those things. You'll be present, you'll be still, you'll be silent, you'll be intuitive. They're all it's like a package. It's like a package, and it's found here in the present moment. Problem for most is we're not present. We're absent. So we're absent, we're away from our intuition. What I'm saying is remember when you were a kid and you just knew things. You just knew what to eat or when to eat. And now look, we got to follow a schedule and stuff. Your body knows when it's hungry. You have this inner knowing when you need things. You'll have an inner knowing of knowing that you need more salt in your diet, or you need more fat in your diet, or you need more carbs, or whatever it is. You'll have this inner knowing. You'll have an inner knowing of you've had too much to eat, and maybe it's good to fast for a few hours or a day. But this inner knowing will arise, which will then be your guide. And when you can be guided by your intuition, you're guided now by your intuition. This inner guidance is now in your life, where now you're guided by the intuition of your heart. You're guided by your heart instead of your mind. And when you're guided by your heart instead of your mind, you'll start experiencing more love, more happiness, more peace, more freedom. You'll start experiencing all that. And it's your intuition that's leading you or guiding you in that direction. But as long as we're stuck in our mind, where it's awfully noisy and it's chattering, which is creating a lot of noise, then we're not able to listen to our heart, because your heart speaks to you in silence, which is exactly why I discuss this in The Power of Meditation and other videos here and other guided meditation videos. This is the importance of meditating and being alone and self-reflecting and having some time to sit in silence and sit in stillness. Because it's like practice. It's like you're practicing getting familiar with that silence, which is also the same as saying it's helping you connect to your intuition. In the mind, it's full of doubt, full of fear. But when you know something intuitively, isn't there like, there's that certainty? There's that like, yeah, this is the truth. It's this. And then it allows you to act quickly. But what do most people do when they're stuck in their head? What are most people complaining about? Most people are complaining about overthinking, doubting themselves. What if this goes wrong? What if it goes right? What if it goes wrong? I think it's going to go wrong. Why would I say it goes? Why would you say it's going to go wrong? Because of doubt. Have you noticed that you only doubt positive things? We never doubt a negative thing. No, if you do this, it's going to work out. Yeah, really? You think so? I kind of doubt that. See, you're doubting a positive. Look at it for yourself in your life and you'll see that the doubt happens for anything positive. Your friend tells you, yeah, you're going to get that job and I know you're going to do good on that. Whatever, the interview. Yeah, but like, I don't know because I'm kind of like not confident. Are you sure? Like, I think I need to practice more before I go to the interview. Your friend saying no. Just go. You're amazing. You're gonna, that job is gonna be great for you. You got this. But then you still have that doubt. Why do you have that doubt? Your friend's saying it's gonna be a positive outcome, but you're doubting that positive outcome. Likewise, if someone just says, no, it's not gonna work out, you're like, yeah, I knew it's not gonna work out. See, we don't doubt negative outcomes or negative experiences. We only doubt positive experiences, positive outcomes. Just do this, and then you're going to be successful with that launch for the new campaign of the new product or service. I don't know. Like, what if people don't like it? Doubt, right? But someone says, no, this is crap. It's not going to work. Yeah, you're right. See, we don't doubt that. So when we're in our mind and we're just being filled with this doubt and fear, then we're stuck. We're stuck in our mind, full of doubt and fear. And that fear is only in our mind. But if we get out of our mind and get into our heart, what's in your heart? Only love. Fear only exists in the mind, and only love exists in your heart. And how you get into your heart is by being more present. And when you're present, then you'll naturally be intuitive. You'll have that intuition. And then you'll be living life guided by your heart instead of your mind. And when you look at the mind, all these different ideas and concepts and thoughts, who put them all there? Your parents, your friends, your school, religion, culture, society, government, like everything. It's all there. It's just put all this stuff in your mind. And if you're listening to that, then you're listening to all that instead of your heart. And once you start becoming aware that most people aren't well and they're sick, Most people are unhappy. They're not happy. Most people are in conflict and they're not at peace. Most people are enslaved and they're not free. Most people experience fear and not love. But then why would you want to follow that? So you see that intuition is a huge power. Because that intuition is an inner guide. That intuition is this inner wisdom that can guide you through life. But it takes developing that intuition. It's always there. So it's not even really like you're developing it. It's more of, you just have to pay attention to it, which means that you have to pay less attention to your thoughts, the noisy mind, and you have to pay more attention to that silence and that stillness. And to pay attention to the silence and the stillness, you have to be more present. That's what I tell you, is that present moment. Everything's in the present moment. So if you find that you're disconnected from your intuition, that you're not really intuitive, if you find that you're overthinking, you're definitely not intuitive. Because intuitive people, they don't really overthink. It's always like they just know, I got to do this now. Okay, well, I don't got to do this now. I got to go left. I got to go right. It's inner knowing. They're not, well, most people go back and forth, overthink it for a whole day. Call a friend. What do you think? You're always having to ask other people, what do you think? It's because of doubt. So we're looking for a second opinion. We're looking for a second opinion. And what we're looking is for validation of our own opinion. Because we have our own opinion, we just need someone else to agree with us. So then it's like, oh yeah, it's 2 against 1 kind of thing. It's like 2 people now. So now it's more, it gives me more confidence. Kind of like it's 2 people, so then it can outweigh the doubt. But people who are intuitive, I got an inner knowing. I trust this inner knowing more than I trust that person's opinion. That's how powerful it is. You've got the inner guide within you. So then you don't need guidance from outside, because you've got this inner guide within. And you start following, you trust that inner guide, and you start following what that inner guide is guiding you to do, or guiding you through, or guiding you not to do. And you'll see it just kind of takes a couple like experiences. Oh yeah, good thing I went with my intuition. Everybody else, they did that. Look at them now. I went with my intuition. It's more experiencing more happiness and more peace and more fulfillment and more love and more whatever it is. So so that trust gets stronger and stronger. The next time, same sort of thing, intuition. Then you have this great trust. And that trust is the opposite of doubt. So people, they doubt their minds. But I'm saying trust your heart. It's the complete opposite. If you trust your heart's going to guide you. Doubting your mind, what kind of guidance is that? Where is that going to lead you? It doesn't lead you anywhere. Doubting your mind usually leaves you, what do most people say? Stuck. Stuck. Most people are stuck in their mind, and most people feel stuck in life. And just doubting the mind that's creating all this doubt is one of the tools that it keeps you stuck. Because there's no action that comes from that. If I just doubt, then it's like I'm standing still, just stuck, because I'm now thinking, is it going to work? Is it not? Is it going to work? It's not. What if that goes wrong? What if it goes right? It's probably going to go wrong. But then what action have I actually taken? None. So I'm stuck. And the mechanism that I'm saying, the mechanism of the mind that's keeping me stuck is all that doubt. But meanwhile, at the same time, your heart is telling you something else. And there needs to be a trust in your heart. But then the mind is so noisy. And we're so stuck in it. I mean, in reality, we're not stuck in our mind, but it feels that way for most of us. So let's just continue talking like that. That we're listening to the mind so much and then doubting it. And it's so noisy. But over here is the trust in our heart is needed. But this is silent. This is noisy. So just like I've said in other videos about meditation, is we need to become more familiar with that silence. We have to shift the focus from the chatter of the mind to the silence. Because in that silence, well, that's how your heart speaks to you, is in silence. That's what the intuition is. The intuition is just this inner knowing. And you go, yeah, but where did that come from? I don't know. It just came from within me. And what did it sound like? Was it like a female voice? Did it like sound like Siri talking to you? No. It's silent. And it was just like instant. There was no like thinking about it. Most people they're like, let me arrive at my decision after I. This is the thinking going back and forth. I'm pretty close to a decision, but still not sure. Can I phone a friend? And then they make the decision. And then even when they're making this decision, even when they've made the decision and executing the decision, they're still doubting if it's going to work. Whereas the intuition that you can say is coming from your heart, that inner guidance, it's like, no, I'm going to trust that intuition. I'm going to trust my heart. You just know this is the right thing to do. This is the right decision to make. This is the move that I need to make. This is the action that I'm going to take. And there was no process. It was instant. So then you're able to take actions quicker. You're able to make decisions quicker. You're able to execute the decision without doubt because there's full trust in the intuition. There's full trust in your heart. So you're more present even while taking the action, because if you're doubting yourself while performing the action, you're definitely not present to the action, because whatever you're doing, you're now thinking about possibly doing something different than what you're doing, which means you're absent from this action. I don't know. Is it a good thing to shoot videos today? I don't know. But what if I'm shooting videos and I'm thinking about, I should have gone with my friend. We could have gone boating and tubing and been out there in the sun. See, I'm not really present for the video. I'm not really focused on the video. I'm kind of more focused on a dream, an idea of something other than this. Because the only thing that's real is this. the other thing that I'm thinking about, boating and tubing, doesn't exist. It's not here and now. It's only a thought. So then I'm absent to shooting the video here in the present moment, and instead I'm lost in my imagination, imagining that I could be on a tube being pulled by a boat in the sun, in the water. Oh, that's so nice. Where am I? And then you go, hey, are you here? Where were you? Oh, sorry, I was daydreaming. And then you would say, it'd be nice if you could just be present. It's much better when you're present. Right? And then that's what I'm saying, is that's that loop. Because now I'm daydreaming and I'm not present, I'm absent. What I'm also absent to is I'm absent to the present moment. And if I'm absent to the present moment, I'm absent to that inner knowing. So it's really about becoming aware of when there's thinking happening about the future and thinking happening about the past. And like I've said in a bunch of other videos, you can use your breath to then anchor you here and now. Because you can't breathe in the future and you can't breathe in the past. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breaths. And then you find yourself much more relaxed, much more calm, much more silent, much more still. And then it might happen right there. And then intuition just speaks in silence, speaks in that silence that you're now connected to. And then you follow it. You trust it, you follow it. And then you continue that practice, becoming more and more present, continue grounding yourself, anchoring yourself to the present moment with your breath. And you'll find that the more you're present, the less you're thinking about the future and the past. You'll find the more you're present, the less you're lost in the future, stuck in the past. You'll find the more you're present, the more you're present to that inner knowing, which means you're present to the inner guide. And when you start trusting that inner guide, then you're accessing that inner wisdom within you. That inner guide is guiding you to. And when you have access to that inner wisdom, that inner guide, and an unconditional trust, then that's it. There's no more doubt. There's no more doubt. You're no longer in your mind. You're no longer in your mind. And that doubt only exists in your mind. When you're no longer in your mind, you're no longer living in fear, because the fear only lives in your mind. So you're living in your heart. And love only exists in your heart. So you're living in love, being guided by that love, being guided by that inner wisdom, the wisdom of your heart, the love of your heart. And when you're being guided by the wisdom and the love in your heart, you start loving your life more. You'll have a love for all life. That wisdom will help you make better decisions. Decisions that come from love, not from fear. If you're living life, would you rather make decisions from fear or love? This helps you really become aware of where are you in the mind or in your heart. Most people make decisions based off of fear. But once you start making decisions based off of love, you'll start living a beautiful life. And that's really what the power of intuition helps you. accomplish is living a beautiful life.